Hello, and welcome to day 7 of my 13 days of Halloween movies. Enough of the niche movies. Time to tackle another all-timer popular entry into the horror genre. The type of movie your grandma knows she wouldn't want to watch because it's too scary. A movie character so big it has an epic rap battle of history. I'm talking about It. There are tons of reactions and reviews to this movie on YouTube, so you might be wondering what makes mine different, what makes it special. Well, my great-grandpa was a clown. He devoted his entire career to being a clown and was quite successful at it. This stuff is literally in my blood. My opinion on this movie should be held as more than an opinion. It should be fact. I am the chosen one. Even if I haven't read the book or watched the original miniseries with Tim Curry, my opinion on this one should be law. Do I even need to recap this movie at all? If you live under a rock, then this is about Pennywise, the demon clown, who manifests as children's greatest fears and eats their fear. He appears every 27 years to kill children. He's like the monsters from Monsters, Inc., except he doesn't stop by as often and kills them. They're basically the same movie, It and Monsters, Inc. This movie kind of oscillates between two different worlds that mesh in interesting ways to say the least. There is the unsettling, effective horror that bubbles under most of this and shows itself when Pennywise appears. Then there's the overly sentimental preaching about friendship and teamwork, the kids on bikes section of this that fills the gaps between the horror parts. I find the two sections to work pretty well on their own, but they fail to blend for me. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise is amazing, and there's iconic delivery on some of these lines. He embodies creepy demon to the fullest and manages to actually unsettle me a little bit at points. Pennywise as a whole manages to be an effective big bad. He stalks his prey, plays with his food, and psychologically tortures them. It is scary not knowing the truth from his illusions, his vague warnings and invitations to hurt yourself. He knows what you fear and uses that against you. Makes it easy to put yourself in the shoes of the kids. Made me wonder what he would manifest to me as. How would I see Pennywise? So when the movie was just living in this eerie world, it worked. The blood bursting out of the sink as a top horror scene for me. The kid's original entrance into the spooky house was also rather effective in its scariness. The other part of this movie is the kids hanging out. Pennywise is only in like 30 minutes of this 2+ hour movie. Most of the remaining time is spent with the kids of Derry, aka the Losers Club. I found myself enjoying the moments of the kids together. The bickering felt like what real 11-year-olds friendship would really be like without being overly annoying. They were there for each other in a way adults couldn't be. Pennywise manifested as their own fears. There was very little the adults of Derry could do. It had to be a problem solved by the kids. Them coming together was cute. Most of their performances were fine, not very standout. I don't like calling child acting bad, but there were a couple of awkward line deliveries in here, but overall, most of the kids did a fine job. I did have two standouts. The kid who played Georgie, the boy murdered at the start of the movie, played a shockingly convincing possessed child. He was scary, screaming at Bill, begging him for help at the end. That kid punched way above his weight class in terrifying horror scenes. Did way better than he should have for how young he was. The second actor I really liked out of the kids was Sophia Lillis as Beverly. She just understood it and carried such heavy emotional weight on her shoulders. The scenes with her dad were a bit rough. I didn't love the actor who played the dad, but Lillis was great. Unfortunately, I felt like her character suffered the longer the film went on, going from a self-assured badass, competent, and actively playing a part, to not doing any of that. The movie turned her character into this damsel in distress needing to be saved by a kiss at that. It was just so dumb. For me, these two worlds just failed to mesh. I don't love friendship and hope being the solution to all the terrifying stuff that was going on. A movie like this should not end on a preachy speech about the power of friendship. Where the kids were pretty fine overall, I cannot say the same about the adults in the movie. The main two bad adult performances are Beverly's dad and the overprotective mom. The mom, she was just so bad. Unconvincing in her protection of the kids, and laughable in scolding them. Didn't exhibit any actual care for the child. It just felt like she begrudgingly needed to watch over them. It made the care the children showed for each other all that more apparent and feelable. I was shocked at just how funny this movie was. There were tons of little gags happening, the kids each doing their own stuff. I am mostly talking about the little details, like Ben not picking up his headphones and just walking with them away on the ground, or the one kid's face of pure terror every time. I would recommend looking out for the smaller details, because several of them got a good laugh out of me. It's not the main thing you're looking at in the scene, but just those little extras that added on. There was a nagging feeling in the back of my head for almost the entirety of this runtime, unfortunately. Funnily enough, it comes from the Pennywise vs. Joker epic rap battle. Most of my knowledge about it before this watch came from that video. About twice a year I'll go on a binge of rewatching a dozen or so of the battles, and this is one of the best there is. There was one specific line from the battle that kept playing in my head. You lost to a herd of nerds who call themselves the Losers Club. Pennywise is supposed to be this all-powerful demon who has made deals with the devil. He has cosmic power that is incomprehensible to the human mind. He's one powerful guy, but he gets his ass handed to him by self-admitted losers. All this group of dweebs had to do is pretend to not be afraid of him and they can physically overpower Pennywise? I just find that so laughable. I understand it is a movie, and there is a suspension of disbelief. I hate people who talk about plot holes, but this one bugs me. Just how easy it is for the losers to beat him. Pennywise never really feels like a real threat because he doesn't manage to kill any of the kids. Not a single one of them goes down. Yeah, he gets Georgie and the one bully, but none of our main group are actually ever beaten by Pennywise. He goes 0-7 against them. There is no way none of these kids die to his fear. It's a small nitpick and doesn't really affect my rating in any tangible way, but I kinda needed to talk about it. It means Pennywise wasn't as scary as he could have been, and it means the ending felt ever so slightly underwhelming. I mean, the bullies beat Ben up more than Pennywise did. Those bullies slashed Ben and made him bleed in multiple places, but Pennywise couldn't do any of that. He just did a funny little TikTok dance at him. When reflecting on the movie as a whole, I have to rate it positively. What it got right, it really nailed. Juggled two different plates through most of its runtime with only the occasional hiccup. If you are looking for a movie about friendship overcoming the scary clown, this will probably be a home run. I just didn't love the blending of the two worlds and a couple other small parts. I gave this a 3.5 on Letterboxd. There really isn't one big thing that brings the score down, instead a bunch of little missteps that take it down bit by bit, and I think I would have just preferred a different movie with a different premise, which doesn't feel wholly fair to this movie. Shout out to Pennywise's dancing, that shit was funny. That draws an end to day 7, now officially over halfway through the 13 days. If you enjoyed, come back tomorrow. Daily videos until the end of the month. It has been a blast and I wouldn't want you to miss it. It would be appreciated if you liked and subscribed. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.